the entire corporate world predominantly has been dominated by male CEOs, CXOs, CHROs, whatnot. So, in this particular world, how a woman can navigate this career opportunities, that's where we want to discuss. We have Sonali Dutta with us, and she's a founder of Youmanize. And just want to understand, Sonali, welcome once again, and let me know what exactly is your past career and what do you do right now. So maybe from there we'll start.
Thank you so much, Kumar, for having me here. So, hi everybody. My name is Sonali. I'm the founder of a company called Youmanize. So, I work with companies on culture and inclusion. So, if you're a leader or a manager, and if you feel like your people are switching off, they're not speaking up, or they are quietly leaving the organization, that's where we come in. But most importantly, today's conversation is a very important thing, and of course, Kumar, like you mentioned, male-dominated corporate cultures. That's something that I have lived. Right. So I've spent almost a decade in navigating corporate rooms. And in those rooms, I was often the only woman. For the longest time, I was the youngest person, and I was also a very odd looking one out. Yeah. So over time, I've realized that the word culture is not just about policy changes, it's about behavior. And the good part is that behavior can change. So today's conversation is more about that.
Fine, fine, fantastic. That's a good start. So I think it is like a self goal, like hitting myself back on this kind of a topic. So but that's a reality which statistics also shows, and you are coming from that particular practical exposure where we want you to advise the audience on what exactly is happening and how to navigate those kind of challenges. That's the only area. So I will start with in this how male dominated culture and all that, what are the areas which is concerning in terms of maybe certain policies, maybe certain behaviors, maybe some HR policies. There are multiple things, limitations, right? So, what do you think it is super dominating where you feel like little stuck or okay, this has to change? What are the topmost areas which you feel?
Yeah. So, well, in one of my first jobs, I remember that I had shared an idea during a client conversation. And the moment I shared the idea, it was just ignored, just plain ignored. Nobody acknowledged it, nothing happened, right? And we were a bunch of people on the same call. And 5 minutes later, a male colleague kind of repeated or reiterated the same idea in his own way. And suddenly everybody found it very brilliant. So I felt a little embarrassed. So I laughed it off. I did not make a big deal out of it. But I remember after that point of time, I started to speak less and I started to second guess myself a lot. So that was the time I remembered that, leading or being present in a situation is not just about skills, it's about having access to what we like to call as power circles, right? A lot of my earlier speakers have also spoken about this. And the kind of culture that we have kind of lived in the workplace, which is extremely male dominated, it is they reward something that's familiar, and what's familiar is confidence, it's decisiveness, that hey, I know what I'm talking about. So any ounce of self doubt or anything that you speak in a lesser tone will be taken as say this person does not know what they're talking about. And this confidence and decisiveness has also need to be packaged in a certain way. For women, what happens, it's very interesting. It's a double-edged sword. So if we speak too much or we speak up, we're like, oh, this person is a little too much, it's a bit too dominating. But at the same time, if we don't speak or if we speak a little softer, we become invisible. So that is kind of the unspoken rules of the corporate culture. And another important thing to also remember is that microaggressions, something like being interrupted or talked over, is very common. And it unfortunately does happen. A lot of times we have also seen that we talk over, as women, we also talk over another woman, but we might not talk over a man. So these are things that have in kind of embedded into our own heads in the way we kind of conduct ourselves. Unfortunately, policies can only do so much. There are a lot of policies that are pro woman, that are pro inclusion, but our behaviors have to change, right? So I can give like three things that one can do. The first thing is, as women, if you feel like your voice is not being heard, you have to name it, which means that if you are getting interrupted, say things like, let me finish my point, or I'd like to circle back to what I was saying. These things. So you're telling the person, hey, I acknowledge you, but you also interrupted me. I want to get back to finishing what I said. And you need not be very rude about it. You can politely also say the same thing.
Mm.
Another thing that I'm a very big advocate of, that my past speakers have also said, is keeping a brag folder. Yeah. So where you remember your own wins and you have to remind people that about the work that you have done. And over here, a very important part of saying this is, a lot of women often use phrases like, we did this, we did that. So the moment
Correct.
you say we, you're also devaluing your own contribution to the project. So be
Yes.
very open and say, I led X, which led to Y, right? And
Mm.
the third important thing is, let's not wait to be invited. Like you also mentioned, right? Like nobody's going to give you a table and a chair. So
Mm.
let's volunteer. If you want to present, please volunteer to present. You got to own your projects and lead meetings. You tell your boss, tell your manager, hey, I would like to lead this. I would like to take charge of this. And you have to show up so people know that, hey, Sonali is ready. Let's not like push someone else forward. She's ready. She's here. You have to say it multiple times so they remember it. Yeah. So these are a few things that can help.
So the proactiveness has to be tangible and visible and should be communicated so that they feel, oh, okay, this person is coming forward. Let's give a chance. That way.
Absolutely.
I
Yes.
think very, very crucial aspect you have spoken. Coming from this experience, like any practical strategies you have applied, like you said, like there is one idea which has been spoken and some other person took it and then told and got appreciated. Now you have learned a lesson, right? So after this 10 years experience and being into entrepreneurship, what are the strategies you suggest to the women who are undergoing the same thing where they were not heard or they were being dominated too much on the boardrooms, all that? So, coming from practical experience, what is your best advice?
Right. So there was a time when I thought that if I just work hard enough, I'll get noticed. But then I saw that people around me, yeah, often men, they're growing faster because they were not just doing the work, they were telling the story of how they were doing the work, right? So, in a lot of ways, us women were raised to be modest. Don't take up so much space, don't talk so much, don't be so loud, just be there, sit there, look pretty, that's it. Yeah. So I had to unlearn a lot. I went into business as a very young person. I have a baby face. People don't generally take me very seriously. So I had to like really put myself out there, and I unlearned a lot of these things that we were kind of taught, and it was embedded into our DNAs of sorts. And I also learned storytelling as a strategy. It is one of the biggest things and the best things that we can do. In fact, I'm doing it today as well. Whenever you're asking me something, I'm starting with a story. And that's the best way to kind of grab someone's attention. So, like you
Mm.
mentioned, visibility matters, but very importantly, you cannot be quietly excellent. If you feel like I'm just going to
Okay.
come to my office, do my work, and my manager is going to take care of it. No, you have to tell
Mhm.
people how excellent you are, yeah? How much of the work you are
Mhm.
doing, how much time it is taking for you. And unfortunately, we have to play the game that the corporate culture also plays. Yeah, you cannot enter and be like, no, I will not let this change me. I will be, yeah,
Mm.
you be authentic, but some rules of the game we also have to abide by, right? So
Mhm.
couple of things we can do is start small. If you have never spoken up anywhere, randomly just going and telling someone might feel a little intimidating. So in a
Mhm.
smaller circle, maybe let's say in an internal meeting, you just tell the manager, hey, can I lead this part? So slowly you start taking action, right? Or a lot of people have also spoken about networking events and all. So put yourself out there in different circles where you feel less judged. Judgment often comes from our inside of our minds. I am assuming you are judging me. You might just be thinking about something else and not at all bothered about what I'm saying. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, Another person also spoke about sponsors. I'm a very
Mhm.
big advocate of it. There are rooms that we are not entering, but we can
Mhm.
have our representation in that room through our
Mhm.
sponsors. So
Mhm.
go around and search for these people. You build bonds with these people. Again, please don't be inauthentic and just take advantage of them. You have to,
Mhm.
it has to be a transactional relationship as well. Why should
Mhm.
they sponsor you? What are you giving
Mhm.
them? And is it also beneficial for them to sponsor you? It should look good on their paper.
Okay.
Your name should also be beneficial for them. Another thing
Right.
is, I've done this multiple times, we got to build sideways, which means oftentimes we look at people higher up to sponsor us and talk about us. What about our peers? I've had the
Okay.
best team members who also speak about me in different rooms, who say that, hey, I've worked with Sonali, she's fantastic. If you need a speaker, I would like to say it's Sonali, and not just in the same organization. These peers will go to other organizations and go and sponsor you. So you might even not know the kind of work you're getting because of these peers. So yeah, these
True.
kind of things will help.
I mean, super structured, super template based ideas which you have given in the last 10 minutes. I think there are a lot of to converse, but in the interest of time, I think we'll have to go with the final question. Will you be like, uh, so I read the book called Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, where we understood the psychology between the two worlds. So, since you come from that different world altogether, see, sometimes miscommunication happens where we may not even understand the intention, all that. So, how do you think men should support in this kind of intention in a career advancements for a women? What are the signals we have to look into from a woman? Okay, she needs some help. Let me put together. Okay, so it is always not a domination. It may be lack of awareness as well from the men's side. That okay, what do you feel? I may not even understand. So this particular area you take as a super advantage time where you say, okay, men, this is what we want. If you have that kind of an option, you can. It is your chance to tell to the audience.
Definitely. Thank you so much. So, men are my allies. They are my friends. And for the longest time, even today, I have been considered as one of the boys, one of the guys. So, I have premium exclusive access to all of their talks. And unfortunately, I did never had a disadvantage in this case.
Dangerous,
So,
very
I have
dangerous.
very dangerous. I know a lot of things that guys think. Had a lot of male cousins, male friends. So very privy to what's happening behind the doors as well. So I
Okay.
remember there was a time when I was kind of interviewing with a organization, and the person who was taking my interview happened to be the HRBP and also became the manager I reported to. And my interviews generally are anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour. It's never less because I get talking like this and they really enjoy this conversation. So we were just talking about like work and beyond work. And then I happened to tell him that I am not much of an alcohol person. Like I don't like drinking. And when we go out to parties, I feel very awkward telling people that I don't drink because of the way I look. They assume that I do everything related to drinking and all. So, and over time, I'm trying to build that confidence to kind of say no, yet not been taken as a non-fun or a non-exciting person. And I remember in the same company we had after a few months we went out to celebrate a big project, and I knew that people are going to come and tell me, hey, let's have a drink, or why aren't you ordering any drinks? And he was sitting on the in the middle of the table and he was kind of acknowledging everyone, talking about it, and then he kept one eye at me while we were kind of ordering our drinks. And I remember him very specifically telling people, hey, Sonali does not really like drinking, so nobody will coax her or try to force her to drink. If she wants to drink, she'll pick up a drink. And that was it. So that's
Okay.
what we're talking about, right? Simple things. He remembered it. He did not have to do it, but he also remembered that I will feel a little hesitant to say
Mm,
that. So this
mm,
is what kind of allyship is, standing for something which is not active, not passive, but active in nature. And it's
mm,
about micro corrections and macro impact. Small, small things that people do will really help. So, couple of things that male allies can do again is first is echo and credit. This is one of my favorite things. So, if
mm,
you feel like someone whose original idea is there, but like me or like someone else, they're unable to voice it out properly, but it is their idea. Make sure you just say, as Sonali just said, or this idea was
mm.
given by Sonali. So, you gotta give credit to the original person and acknowledge them,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Next
That's the first
is
thing to do. Mm,
first thing, yes. Second
mm,
thing
mm,
is if you're in a all male group, let's challenge this exclusivity. If you feel like all the
mm,
decisions are being made by an all male group, why don't you just say, hey, let's bring a woman on the board. Let's hear their conversation and let's hear their perspective as well. Have some diversity in any group. That'll be very profitable for your business as well. And
mm,
also ask, don't assume, right? So I had told my manager that I am hesitant to say when I don't drink because I feel a certain
mm,
way, which is why he stepped in to say that. So he acknowledged that that is where I required support. If you have female peers, juniors or seniors, have a conversation with them and say like, what does support really look like for you? Do you want me to step in or do you not want me to step in? Instead of just going and protecting them, be like, I will be the savior. Maybe they just
Okay.
want you to be there in spirit, but not really talk the talk for them. Yeah, so these will really
So
help.
before taking a concluding decision, male should ask the women what I mean, or brainstorm to take a alignment in that particular decision. That's what you
Yes,
mean.
why not? Like you're making a
Okay.
decision which includes them, so why not also take
Okay.
their permission, or
Okay.
perspective rather.
Yeah. Yeah. Then
Yeah, so these are smaller things. Yeah, I feel like
top list.
as women, we also need to kind of stop looking at men like our enemy. I have a lot
Hmm.
of men in my career and my life who are really supportive, extremely supportive, and who are just there for me. Over time, I
Hmm.
have also trained them how support for me looks like and changed their perspective about women. So let's not make it a man versus woman world. I think that's a very old kind of a thought process. We're all here. We're trying to work towards something. Let's build a workplace which is fair together. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think I need a separate discussion on this because the way which you are telling creates an imagination and picture in my mind as to what is the kind of scenario, all that. So 15 minutes is not enough, but since it's a roundtable format, we have to confine to that kind of thing. But you made a very beautiful point, like echoing and crediting is from the male side, and challenging the exclusivity, and asking and not assuming in the decision making, and the most important things, don't treat us as enemies. So that crux of the matter, because a lot of time when we don't communicate, we assume a lot, that okay, this person is like this, let me not put forth my ideas, and that continues as a grudge towards the entire
Yes.
career. So
Yes.
rather, we'll make it a point. There is at least we open up something. If they are listening, then fine. Otherwise, it's fine. So that's an area which we have to be a little more proactive. I think it's a very structured key insights you have given to the audience. And thank you so much. Being a founder, you've been a very busy schedule all throughout the day, and spending a Sunday with us is a very huge. A key knowledge, including me. And as Sonali said, we have this echoing and crediting is required, and all this, whatever Sonali has said, whoever is the male audience and startup founders who are business owners who are listening to this, maybe going forward, we have to take up this areas which been told by Sonali and suggested by Sonali, so that it is a contribution which is improvising the whole point, because we might be thinking in one dimension, but they come up with a different dimension for the same fixing of issues.
Yes.
So that's again, end of the day, it is a contribution for an organization. So why not we take up this, okay, rather than
Absolutely.
creating a domination things. So thank you so much for joining us today, and giving a very valuable, very well valuable and practical elements to follow, not a philosophy which you have came with the practical ideas, challenged and then implemented by yourself, and then giving this suggestion. Thank you so much for joining today. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kumar. And just a quick closing note that, the good news is that change is happening. People like you are amplifying it, you're pushing it. I have seen men call out bias. I have seen women who have stopped apologizing for taking space. So, whether you're a woman who's navigating this space, or if you're a man or even a woman in power who's holding that power and authority, please ask yourself, what do I allow? What do I amplify and what do I challenge? Because that's where culture can shift and change. So, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.
Fantastic.